You're killing yourself. But for what? So I got this question the other day that you're so intense, you're always doing so much, you're always pushing and working so hard. What's the point of killing yourself? What are you working for? We discussed the other day about, well, most of this is just about becoming the greatest version of myself. Most of this is just, well, in pursuit of seeing where I can get up, where I can get to, what I can achieve, what is possible for me. To not settle, to not sedate, to not hide away from all the things. Because, well, most people in this life they'll die at 25 and wait till 75 to be buried. It takes work, it takes effort, it takes focus, it takes getting uncomfortable to be able to do these things in life. The answer is actually that, well, you're killing yourself by not doing anything. You're killing yourself through sedation. You're killing yourself through the lack of work, the lack of focus, the lack of effort. Yeah, I get that you see that I'm out here and I'm doing work and I'm pushing forward and I'm doing all that kind of stuff. But to be honest, in comparison, it's a much slower death, quote unquote, than what you're putting yourself through. And I think this is the gap that most people have, that they've gotten to this point of, well, you forget that true satisfaction and true joy and true enjoyment, especially for men, I find, comes from effort. It comes from overcoming. It comes from completion of tasks that feel impossible. It comes from doing things that are difficult. You know, they're meant to be difficult. And it's actually in the opening, I don't know, what do you call it, skit, maybe? Bars of the new Bliss and Esso album. And it talks about going to the moon. And they talk about, and he says, oh, which is the president who sent them to the moon? Fuck, now you tested my knowledge. Anyway, the president goes, it's not because we do it because it's hard. That's the reason that we do it. That you undertake these things because it's hard. And then that's the point of it. And I think that has been lost in our society now, that we have reached a point where, well, most people don't want to work. They don't want to push. They don't want to be challenged. They don't want to get uncomfortable. They don't want to break the cycles and the narratives and all this kind of stuff. They're very happy in their little sedated loops. And you have to push hard. You have to break free. You have to, well, see what is possible on the other side. And that comes from getting into the work and finding something that makes you passionate, that lights you up, that pushes you forward, that makes you willing to do things that are uncomfortable. And, you know, most people are like, oh, well, I don't have something like that. And I was like, well, especially if we're talking demanding greatness here, guys, we're talking about the obvious here. It should be you. Like, it always baffles me that people have this argument about it. I'm like, your passion is you. It's becoming the best version of you. To build a better model of you. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're working towards. That's what we're building. The vehicle that allows you to live the life that you live, that allows you to show up with energy or exhaustion, that allows you to be the best version or not, is you. And that comes from the decisions you made yesterday. How your day looks today isn't from today's choices. It's from yesterday's choices and last week's choices and last month's choices and 3 months ago's choices. You're just controlling what's coming next. So it's time to make decisions based on your future, not on your present feelings. And we as a society have gotten so comfortable and so used to just doing what is easy, just doing what is comfortable, just doing what makes us feel good in the moment. And not questioning it, and not looking externally, and not looking to push beyond that point. Just accepting where we are, what we're doing, and never giving any more. But you have to push for more. You have to push to do better. You have to see, well, what is possible on the other side of those kinds of things. As I said, doing it for you should be enough of an incentive. But if that's not enough, do it for your kids. Do it for your wife. Do it for those who love and believe in you. They deserve more of you. They deserve a better version of you. They don't deserve you to continually choose easy. And, I always get pushback on it, but I still firmly believe it. When you choose the selfish route, the selfish mode, you choosing to sedate in whatever format that might be, whether that's alcohol, whether that's junk food, whether that's TV, video games, social media, porn, whatever your vice is, to sedate, to hide, to suppress the feelings of what's going on in the world, when you choose that, that is the most selfish moment. And on the flip side, I actually firmly believe, especially if you have children, and people push back on this, but I will fight tooth and nail on this one, that being in great shape and blocking out time every single day to look after your health and fitness is the most selfless thing you can do. That is the greatest gift that you can ever give your family, is being in great fucking shape. As I said, you are the vehicle that allows you to do everything in your life. You're exhausted, struggle to get out of bed, got no motivation, none of that kind of stuff going on. Fix it. Fix those things. That is what makes you the greatest version of you. You need to do those things to be a better version, to push forward, to excel at those things. You have to keep going, and you have to get used to getting uncomfortable. And it's why I've built Demanding Greatness the way it is, because it starts with you making those choices. It starts with you getting into great shape, because it's the thing that transitions into everything else in life. It's the tool that teaches you everything else. It teaches you consistency, intensity, and effort. It shows you that if you stick at it long enough and you keep showing up and you keep doing the work, lo and behold, everything will work out for you, that you will get the results. As long as you do not quit, you will get the results that you want out of this life. And that is what is required. But more than that, we talk about men's mental health and we talk about all these kinds of things. Part of it is that I don't think you challenge yourself anymore. I don't think you take on difficult tasks to see how far you can get, how hard you can push, how much you can take from this. I think it's built into our DNA to work hard, to push, to overcome, to hit that barrier and find another way through. And the gym, working out, exercise, these kinds of things is the greatest tool for that. Ask anyone who's ever been an athlete. There is something primal about overcoming those and doing what is necessary. And you must do it too. You must find a way to choose something uncomfortable every single day and face it. Look, even if it's not demanding greatness, just do something like that. Choose something that is uncomfortable and win. Overcome, face it head on. Ignore your feelings and do what is necessary. This is how you get better. This is how you build satisfaction and joy in your life, because it's a different level. And we've spoken about it before, and it's still one of those statements that annoys the shit out of me. Oh, well, what's the point of life, Lachlan, without my alcohol, without my, TV, my social media, without all these fun things in my life? One, if that is what defines the happiness in your life, well, you need to really check your priorities. That's not happiness. That's not joy. That's not actual satisfaction. That is sedation at its highest order. And you need to do better. You need to be better. And you need to find a better way to do that. But also, once you truly find the ability to overcome, the ability to do hard things, you'll find that you find greater satisfaction. You find that you'll have greater fulfillment in your life. You'll find that all these things are possible. That, well, even down to exercise. It increases your capacity for joy. It increases your capacity to do things and truly experience pleasure and joy. And things that are sedation, aka social media, TV, porn, junk food, alcohol, they actually shrink your capacity for joy because you receive cheap dopamine hits. And so you lose the ability to actually enjoy these kinds of things. So my thing for you, my friend, is how can you push yourself into doing hard things? How can you stop killing yourself slowly and hiding from that fact with sedation and actually get into doing something that is going to progress you forward and help you become the man you know you want to and should be? And if you don't have an answer, the answer is join Demanding Greatness. That is the simple answer. That is the quick answer. That is the answer that is going to change your life in so many different fashions. So if you are ready for that, now is your moment. And I hope to see you there soon.